It's
Hello.
Stephen and Walter here with another episode. My feet hurt. I'm tender. Walter made me walk a long way. So how far did we walk today?
We walked 14 kilometers.
Well, yeah, my feet hurt. So, where did we walk to? Well, when we got up this morning, and I have a little video clip showing you our breakfast of champions that we've had pretty much every day on the trip, with a couple of exceptions. You'll be excited by it. It's very nutritious. Not. So, we went down into the lobby on our way out, and I asked for a roll of TP, toilet paper. A couple actually, I thought would be good, you know, and some more coffee. And we just got back from being out all day walking around. There's a big bag hanging on our door. In that big bag's a whole bunch of clean towels. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. One roll of toilet paper, no coffee. They can't do anything straight.
Yeah, they don't service the rooms for
Yeah.
at least the first 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And which they used to do it before COVID every other day.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I don't like them running in here anyway. So.
No. Actually, don't you remember back in the old days, they used to do your room every day?
No, here they only ever did it every other day.
Well,
Because it's service department. So.
whatever. But anyway, so we went off on our walk. So we went to cross the bridge, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And it's a hoof. I'm not sure how long it is.
It's not that bad.
Well, no, but when you have to go down from the hotel to the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, we could take public transit,
But we don't.
but we don't.
Yeah. I don't like public transit, to be honest.
And actually, it's more scenic to walk.
Yeah, so we did. And it's good exercise. Oh, yes, the pounds are just dropping off of us, as you can
Not
tell.
really.
Speak for yourself. I'm sure things have dropped. I'm
Well,
going to tell
sure.
myself that, and I believe it. I'm whatever.
My stamina has gotten better though on this trip. Walking.
Yeah, really. Okay, you keep believing that. All right, so anyways, we walked across the bridge, and you know, okay, this is a city of bicycles. Australians love their bicycles, I swear. And you know, I don't have anything against anybody on a bicycle, but why do you have to drive your bicycle where there's cars and where there's people walking? Okay, I know the answer to that question. You're going to say, well, those of you that are bike enthusiasts are going to say, well, there needs to be more bike routes, dedicated bike routes and the whole bit. Yeah, well, they have a lot of dedicated bike
they
routes.
do, but then what they do here too is they make half the pathway that you're on a bike route, and half of it is walking. So it's called shared pathway. The problem is they run up behind you and they ring their bell and expect you to get out of the way.
And you jump right over the edge of the bridge into the lake, or kind of good thing there's railings and stuff there to stop you from doing that.
Now we're very conscious and walk completely to the left, but then you've got people walking and they're walking all the way across.
And
the
they
path.
walk around.
They walk in front of you, and you're trying to get around them, and they're sauntering away.
And you know, you've got the girl who's hanging on to the guy, or the guy that's hanging on to the girl. Like what? Are they made of helium? If you let go of him, will he float out to sea or something like this? I don't get it. Or is he going, oh, don't come near my girl, she's mine and belongs to me? I have news for you. I'm not going to come after your girl. Your girl is safe. You might not be, but your girl is safe.
But then you get the ones with the stroller, and the families with the stroller.
Yeah.
Like there was a family with a stroller, and the wife, and a husband, and a little kid, and they're holding onto their tray of Starbucks coffees walking across the bridge.
And I mean, the walkway on the bridge, really, it isn't even wide enough if you obey, like, staying to the left and, you know, 2 lanes of traffic kind of thing. It's not really even wide enough for 2 people just to walk side by side on there. But people do it anyways. And by the way, this thing about strollers, I remember when strollers, like, had 4 wheels and a handle. It fit one kid, that's it. Now, these are not strollers. these are transportation devices that you can pack several kids in tandem in them. You can put all your shopping in the back, a picnic lunch for 5, and carry all of your luggage from the airport in at the same time. They're loaded and they're huge. And they're pushing them here like, okay, is that necessary? Who's getting exercise? I guess mommy or daddy who's pushing it. Kid's not. The kid's not walking. But, and then there's the joggers. Oh yes, the joggers. This must be one of the fittest cities in the world because they all jog and they're all out dressed in their jogging to-dos, especially the ladies. You know, they have these skimpy little outfits that go right up the, you know, where the sun doesn't shine and come right down where the sun shouldn't be shining and all that. So I have figured out there's a hierarchy here of movement. Okay, lowest person on the totem pole is a walker. Okay, if you're just simply walking, you're low man at the bottom. Next level up are the people who are walking, but they're walking a dog. Okay, because they seem to think if by letting the dog on the leash stretch across, that gives them more room and they can trip you, tangle you up, or they're constantly yanking Puppy over towards them because Puppy wants to come over and have a little sniff, a little
Well, yeah,
play.
and there were a few spots on the bridge that where people weren't picking up their doggy doo-doo.
Well, we assume it was doggy doo-doo.
Yeah.
Whatever. So it was a doo-doo dot on there. Don't like poop or scoop and, or no, poop and scoop. I mean, like really. And then that's the next level of the hierarchy, people walking their pets. The next level in the hierarchy are the runners, the joggers. Because first of all, if they're going to run into you, they're going to run into you and run right over you because they can't stop soon enough. So if you suddenly veer from the path, or what they're usually doing is zigzagging around, and so many times I just want to...
Well, they have
stick
to
my foot in.
zigzag around because people are hogging the middle of the path.
Yeah, but then you get the joggers who are 2x2 or the 3x3 joggers. A straight row. What's wrong with this picture? Not enough room.
Or you get the cyclists that are 2x2.
Well, that's the top of the tier. Actually, the second top to the top of the tier are the cyclists because there's no way they're going to be able to stop.
And there was one that came by us that was, if you noticed, it was one of those delivery things.
Oh, yeah, the delivery.
Just scared the crap out of me because he whipped by so fast, it was incredible.
And those bags they have on the back where they carry the food, you know, like skip the dishes or whatever those kind of things are, they're wider than the bike. And sure, the front of the bike, he might be able to swerve by you, but then this package gets you, and they just keep right on going. So I guess they're another level too, up there at the top. And the only thing, the one at the top of the list are the people who drive cars. Because
they have their own lanes.
if they hit you, you're dead. So,
well, on the bridge, you wouldn't be able to get the cars wouldn't be able to mount across where the barriers are that easily. So,
but there are the cyclists in the city, especially the delivery ones, who zigzag out of traffic, up and down, all around. So, you know, whatever. I hate bicyclists. Yeah, screw the health item out of it. I don't think they deserve any special rights. You want to ride a bike and you're like 50? First of all, you're stupid. Like, how do you feel about your hips? What, you're trying to prove to the world that at 50 you're not old? That you're still got the body of a 20-year-old or something? Well, good for you. Go ride in the park, you know? Not in the middle of traffic here. And then there's, of course, the joggers. Okay, I would think jogging would be much more enjoyable done in a grassy setting, in a park or on a trail or something, not on the streets of a major city. What is it? You want to show off that you're physically fit? Look at me, look at me. I have the designer outfits on. Lululemon, people, Lululemon. Okay, like, but whatever. It's times like that when you just wish you had one of those cattle prods, and as they're running by, it goes, or the bike goes by, stick it in the spokes, boom, you know. But I have a wicked imagination when it comes to cruelty to other people. So anyways, we walked across the bridge, got to the other side, and headed towards Luna Park, which is a very old amusement park that's kind of an iconic place for the city of Sydney. And but before we got there, we had to go through the market, the open air market.
And market. I guess it's open some Sundays and some Saturdays.
Yeah.
And it has a variety of newer items or handmade items for sale. And also there's a section of used clothing that's
Vintage clothing, lots of that in there too. And of course there's food and everywhere. And there are all kinds of people in there. It's just like, I don't know how they manage to sell anything in these stalls because the people are so thick there.
Well, it doesn't help that there's a major cruise ship in port.
Well, yeah.
And they've probably got unloaded all their cruise people on
Yeah.
Sydney as well.
So we got our way, walked down to Luna Park. Now, Luna Park, you can walk through it. It's free to do that. But if you want to go on any of the rides, or there's a couple of, we talked about these the other day, a couple of special events going on there right now, that costs you more money. And of course, it's an amusement park, so it's going to be full of what? Kids, right? It's not really, when you think of amusement parks, I guess us in North America think of, Disney World, Canada's Wonderland, some of the other ones.
In the States, the Six Flags.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. This is not like any of those.
No, they had one of those things where people, it was a pillar where people go up on and it drops down fast.
Wow, that was a really great description. I can see everybody drawing diagrams.
It's a circular thing.
It's a chair lift that has multiple people around a big column, and it hoists you up to the top and then lets you drop. And you go, ah!
Well, most of the ones I've seen in North America are
a lot higher.
10, 15 stories high, and this one's like maybe 3 stories high.
But anyways, it's not the fall that kills you, it's the sudden stop. So, and they have a big carousel, and they have sort of a roller coaster thing in there as well. And it's not a huge park or anything, but what's really interesting about it, it's not the ride so much. It's the facades in front of all like the games and the rides or anything like that. They're all very reminiscent of sort of a bygone era, retro, a little bit of Art Deco-ish kind of things to it all. And that's kind of cool to see all of that. We weren't there long. Too many children everywhere. But it's something interesting to see with it. I suppose if you're into rides, not a lot of them, but whatever. So we got out of there, walked back to another part of this area on the other side of the bridge, and had beer. I have beer hiccups right now. We had beer. Of course we had beer. And we found a place that was a little less busy, and we could sit there, and Walter could study whatever he studies on his phone, because he's constantly looking at something on the phone, trying to figure out where our next destination will be for the day. So we did that, but there isn't a whole lot on the other side anyways that we could see that looked of any interest. We did debate whether or not to take the ferry back across to decide we're on here, but we didn't. We walked it again. So it seemed shorter when we walked back.
Yeah,
I don't
walked
know why.
all the way back, yeah.
Yeah, so we walked all the way back there, and then we thought we'd look for some place for lunch, and yeah, there's a huge cruise ship that pulled in, the Royal Caribbean Edge. And
no, it's the Celebrity Edge.
Oh, Celebrity. But isn't Celebrity and Royal Caribbean the same company?
Yeah, I know, but it's a different company.
Okay, excuse me, I stand corrected again as usual. Yeah, it's a great big ship, but they call it the Edge because, and I've seen this on videos on YouTube, and you can look it up. This one has a unique little device. They have sort of a bar, cafe kind of a thing that's mounted on the outside of the ship, and it's like a gigantic elevator, and supposedly the whole thing moves up and moves down while you're in there. But I have heard reports that one is I think you have to make reservations to get into it.
And you have to pay extra to.
Yeah, you have to pay extra, and half the time it's not working. So, yeah. But I got
would think
pictures of
it's
it.
difficult too if suddenly you had to go to the bathroom while you're in there.
I don't know how that works. Do it on the table. I don't know. But anyways, it's in. So of course, when we came back over to our side of the harbor, all the little places to eat in were all busy as hell because it's right by the cruise port, and it's Sunday, and everybody and their dog is out and about. And so we walked around for a while, and we finally found a place. It was busy, but there was a table. It was a pizzeria. And so we had some lunch there. And actually the pizza was pretty good for that. So we did that, and then we decided, well, where were we going to go next? So where did we go next?
We were going to the art gallery, but then we ended up at the... we went down to...
we went down to the Circular Quay.
Where all the ferry boats leave. And I wanted to look at some of the
destinations on
destinations and that, and so it was a little confusing. So I was going to look it up tonight on my phone. And then I have these cards that we had from a previous trip that was the transit cards, and they still had some money on them. So and they still work.
They're called Octopus, aren't they, or something?
No, they're up. No, I went up. Now I can't remember where they're. Now you've got me mixed.
I thought they were Octopus.
No, that is in London.
Oh.
These are called opals.
Opals. Oh, okay.
Opal cards.
Opal cards, yeah. Okay.
And they're good for transit here. So
you tap on, tap off.
Yeah, I had a couple that had only about $7 on it, and then I had one that has $13 on it. And some of the trips go as high as $8 here if you take a long trip. So anywhere from about $4, I think, return to $8 return, depending on how far you go, right? And there's one that I was talking about going on to that takes us to an area of Sydney called Parramatta. And to get to Parramatta, it's one of the longest ferry rides. And it's, I think it takes an hour and a half to get there. It's on a catamaran too.
Oh, okay. Like that makes a lot of difference to me.
Yeah. So anyway, because they have a huge ferry port at Sydney, and they have ferries that go all over the place to different beaches and different because at the end of the Sydney, there's a series of islands outside of Sydney in the ocean, out from Sydney's the mouth of the river. And they've got all these islands all over the place. So to reach those islands, you need to go there by ferry.
So we might do that tomorrow. So we actually topped up one of the cards a little bit, so that we'd have enough to go. So yeah, that'll be another excursion kind of a thing. And you get a different perspective of.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a nice
Sydney
day tomorrow, so we can do that tomorrow.
Yep. Oh, I'm tired. So we after we were down there and with 100,000 people and Walter was studying his phone and figuring this all out, we decided we were going to the New South Wales
Art gallery.
Art gallery. Yeah. But on the way, we discovered the Sydney Museum, which I said before, well, had we gone to the Sydney Museum when we were here the first few days we were here and all that? Walter said, yeah, we've been to that one.
No, I don't. I always got that mixed up with the Australian Museum.
Yeah, well, I thought you had it mixed up too, but Walter knows best. So, we hadn't. So we went to it.
It was pretty lame.
It's nice that it was free.
Yeah, a lot of the museums here are free unless they have a special exhibition going on. So we went to that, and then we went to the Art Gallery of New South Wales.
Yeah.
And it was free too.
Yep.
So we just walked around there for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting art gallery. They have quite a collection of things there. Not just Australian art, but they have art from around the world.
Like they have a lot of nice museums in Sydney,
Yeah.
and most of them are free.
Yep.
And if they're the only thing that they might have that's not free is sometimes they'll have a special exhibition in these galleries that you might want to go to and pay an optional amount of money.
Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of footage about the art gallery as well in today's clips too. And then
when we were in the art gallery, Steve says, "We've been here before."
well,
And I said, "No, I don't think we have." And I don't think we were. But they did have a lot of stuff that looked familiar.
they
from
would,
other
yeah,
places.
because at one point you said maybe you're right, maybe we were here before, but no, we hadn't been. But there were some pieces there that looked very much like what we had seen in, I think, in Brisbane art gallery there as well. So yeah, but you know, after a while,
Actually, you know where we saw some of those pieces, like those skinny log things?
yeah.
That was in the Modern Art Gallery here, down by the Circular Quay.
Yeah, they have a thing for long, skinny things
Yeah.
around here. But anyways, yeah. But I mean, there's some nice work in there, some nice, interesting pieces.
It's nice art. It's a nice art gallery.
Which in that art gallery, they extend from, several hundred years or more old to contemporary modern pieces.
Yeah, we went to the art gallery here in Sydney, and it was free, and it was like 50 times nicer than the art gallery of Vancouver.
Oh, God.
And we paid $30 each to get into that one.
Like that one's just a crap box. Don't go to the art gallery of Vancouver if you're in Vancouver.
I mean, it's awful how a city like Vancouver, it's shameful.
Yeah, it's shameful, actually.
That they have an art gallery the way they have in Vancouver, and they charge you $30. When in Sydney here, you can go to an art gallery and it's like 50 times better.
Yeah, no exaggeration.
And no
It really is.
exaggeration.
Yeah, and it's free.
And it's free.
So, yeah. A few art galleries in Canada could learn from the Australians for sure. So that's what we did and made our way back here, and now we're doing this at the moment. And I don't know what we're doing for dinner yet tonight. Who knows? Last night we had Mexican, and it was takeaway, and I think we did mention that. Did we do the recording before we got the Mexican or after we had the Mexican?
We did it before we had the Mexican.
Oh, well, it was good. It was actually really good. And not expensive either, and plenty of it. So that was from a place called Gomez and Gomez. So
it's a chain.
It's a chain, but actually it was pretty good. So yeah. Okay, so I don't think we have anything else to tell you.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure what we're doing tomorrow. We were talking about taking the ferry.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. And I'm kind of tired right now.
Yeah, we did lots of walking.
Yeah, we did a lot of walking.
I don't think we're going out again tonight.
No, and we didn't get up all that early the last 2 days. Well, I mean, for Walter, it was still early because we were up at around, it was 8 o'clock when I got out of bed this morning. I don't usually sleep till 8 o'clock, but I was tired. Walter's been making me walk around. He's hurting me. Okay, well, that's it for tonight, and we'll see you all for our next report tomorrow. Catch the videos. Bye. So, we thought we would show you our routine brekkie for most mornings while we were in Australia. Of course, we have a toaster with our rooms, and so we get some fruit bread. We would call this raisin bread in Canada. Although they did have stuff there that was called raisin bread, but this was the cheapest fruit bread, and it's okay. And of course, peanut butter, Bega brand peanut butter. That's our second jar, actually. And then we got some jam, and we were just looking for smallest amount, and pretty much cheapest, fruits of the forest.
Yeah, and the same brand as peanut butter, Bega cheese.
Bega cheese. This is Tasty Cheese. That's the label. There's our Tasty Cheese. We have Tasty Cheese every morning with our toast. And of course we have some coffee. Those are dirty dishes. Here, I have these knockoff Nespresso machines, which are kind of shit. But this one actually has been working okay. in Sydney. So some of the ones we've had are hit and miss. But anyways, that's what we eat in the morning. Breakfast of champions for our day out walking. And today we are walking across the Sydney Harbour Bridge to Luna Park. And we're going to see what we'll see in Luna Park. It's a bit of a hike, this walk. Okay, so I may have flipped the camera a little bit on that little last excerpt there because the light changed and we had to get going across the way. So anyways, we're continuing our walk here. And
This is Major Street. This is Major Street, so we don't have as many businesses.
and as such, less people, although this is Sunday. So a lot of people maybe come here for the weekend, although it is the start of the school holidays right now, and so heaven only knows.
Yeah, they have school holidays 4 times a year.
Yeah, lucky kids, but it's all year round schooling in a sense, but with every 4 months or so or something like that, they get so many weeks off, which is probably the equivalent of what we have in our area, only ours all come at once. So we're headed up here towards the bridge, and we have to go up another hill. Yay! What? You're not sure now, Walter says. Okay. Okay. So we finally got up here to the bridge for the long walk. A lot of people jogging, a lot of people walking, a lot of people cycling, although I don't think they cycle on this part. There's a celebrity ship in port, a cruise ship. Here's the skyline from a different perspective. And Walter on the bridge. They call this cruise ship the Edge because if you see that orange bar, and if you look closely at it, that's a dining room or a bar in there, and it rises and lowers on the outside of the ship like an elevator. Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. And we're coming up to the bridge now.
So you can't jump. Makes it impossible to jump. We have to climb up to it.
There you go, the iconic shot from the bridge, the Sydney Opera House. So we're on the other side of the bridge at the moment, and you see where that flag is at the very top of the bridge? Well, we've been there. On one of our trips here, we actually did the Sydney Bridge climb, and you go right up there to the top and down. Walter almost crapped his pants when we did that. Yeah. Okay, so we're on the other side of the bridge, and it looks like they have a little type of market here. A lot of people here. Now, this was not here the last time we came through, but the last time was on a weekday, so this might be something that happens on the weekends. We're headed towards Luna Park. It's just to our right of us down here.
This is cool, man.
And so these are the iconic gates to Luna Park. Luna Park is an amusement park. It's been here for many, many, many years. Back in the 80s, early 80s, I think, or late 70s, saw a documentary. There was a big fire here. It killed 4 kids, kind of a thing. Yeah. And I think they're working on restoring it and doing things like that with it now. Okay, take your feet off a bit. That's fine. This is a far cry from when we were here about 5 years ago, because when we were here 5 years ago, there was nobody here. It was almost like it was shut down. And it may have been for some reason, I'm not sure. And we are now leaving Luna Park. Great for kids, I guess, but actually it's a little lame. Although it's interesting to see all the sort of Art Deco like styling of the facades and things. But if you're a kid, I think you'd love it. As an adult, it's interesting to see, but that's about it. Okay, so this is looking off from outside of Luna Park out across the harbor. Bridge. That's what we walked across to get here. Sydney Opera House over on that side. I'm just taking a shot of this because it's kind of interesting to see this palm tree and then the bridge in the distance and that kind of thing. And then of course you have all kinds of unknown people walking through my picture. Now you don't necessarily have to walk across the bridge to get here. You can take one of the ferries and it'll bring you over as well. And we may take some ferries another day that we're here as well. Whatever. Yeah, we're back over at the market here. There seems to be a lot of clothing. Looks like it might be vintage, which is just a nice polite way to say old cast-offs that people don't want them anymore, and cheap people who want to buy them and think it's high fashion. That's the definition of vintage clothing.
Oh no, it's also people have grown out of their clothes.
Yeah. So it's 11:32 and we're having a beer. We don't usually have beer at 11:32 in our own country, but
I'm usually not up.
well, yeah, that's the other thing. You know, but what the heck?
We walked the whole pile.
Yeah, we walked a lot so far.
Yeah, it's hot.
And it is hot. It is, what is it? According to my watch, it's 23.
It's 23, but it feels hotter.
Yeah, it feels hotter. That's why we're having this. So Walter looked up the market we just walked through, and what did it tell you? It's called the what?
Kirribilli Market.
And it's the oldest market in Sydney.
Yeah, and it's not every weekend. Well, no, it's a lot of the weekends, I guess. Yeah, every weekend it looks. Saturday the 23rd of March. Then the next one wasn't until Sunday, April 7th.
Oh.
And then the next one was 14th, which is today, right? And then the next one's not till the 27th.
So it sounds like it's every other weekend.
Almost, yeah.
Here's another shot of the cruise ship, the Edge, right here at its pier. Big ship. It's a celebrity. We've been on celebrity cruises before. Haven't in a while. Kind of cruised out. After 11 cruises, yeah, you've seen them all. Harbor Bridge from below. So we're having lunch at a pizzeria out on the street. Pina Pizzeria, I guess it is. It's very, very busy down here. Of course, there's a cruise ship in. This is definitely tourist area here. We don't have a lot of luck finding places off the beaten track to eat. They're eating in amongst all of these, everybody else and their dog here as well. But I guess that's the nature of the beast, eh? And our pizza has arrived. Actually looks really good. And Walter's staring at it. And there it is. This is supposed to be the only luxury department store on the Rocks, which is the area we're in right in Sydney. They call the Rocks. So a lot of high-end stuff. This is Dior when you come in. And Cartier. And I'm sure there's a Gucci's and everything else. And we are outside the Museum of Sydney right now. We're going to go in. I'm not sure what we will see. Probably stuff about Sydney. So I really didn't take much footage while we were in there because it was basically not a lot to see. They had a couple of multimedia kind of presentations in there that were a little bit interesting. One on the history of Sydney and Australia cities, and another one that was sort of a contemporary piece of a lot of cut and paste little video clips and things like that. It was supposedly poking fun at the way people see Australia, both those that come here to see it and those that live here. And that it was kind of interesting too, but of course I didn't bother to record them because there's probably copyright on those kind of things as well. So I'm not sure where we're going to next, but Walter's studying his phone carefully, and we'll see.
I have no idea.
This is the State Library. Somebody's having wedding pictures done here as well. That's why all these cars. Well, there was a bride over there. Yeah, jeez. There was a bride standing right over there, and they were having their picture taken.
I didn't see that.
Well, no, because you were buried in your phone, trying to figure out where we're at. This is known as the City Domain. Great big huge park. And this is the Art Gallery of New South Wales. It's inside the front foyer of the Art Gallery.
beads.
Beads.
And we went into the modern art gallery, but we didn't go to this one here.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't. They had another one that looked just like that. I'm sure we had it. They have both things all over the place.
That looks familiar to me. Did not see that. I would have remembered that one. In Australia, they dance in the parks. In Australia, they dance in the parks.